Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for our first daily dose of unstable spoilers. And this spoiler season, gonna be a bit different, a little bit strange. Normally, when we're doing our daily spoiler videos, we're talking about like, oh, this card could fit here in standard, it could fit there in modern, but unstable's different because the cards aren't legal for tournament play. So instead of focusing on where you can actually play these cards, we're just gonna kind of show off the cards, talk about the jokes. Today, we get to talk about some of the mechanics from the set, including, first off, the most hyped mechanic that people have been waiting for a decade now, and that is Contraptions. So, people have been wondering about Contraptions ever since Steam Flogger Boss was originally printed back in Future Sight Block, and now, we know what Contraptions do in Magic. They are a little bit confusing, so before we talk about the cards themselves, we better talk about how they actually work. So Contraptions, there's 45 in all in the set. We know 4 of them so far, but there's 45 in all. You actually start with a separate deck of Contraptions, at least 15 Contraptions in the deck. They are not part of your normal deck. They're their own separate thing. And then there's cards that'll allow you to assemble a Contraption, and that's going to let you take the top Contraption of your Contraption deck, and you're going to put it on the battlefield underneath these sprockets. Basically, you're going to have 3 different piles of Contraptions, 1, 2, and 3, and every turn on your upkeep, you're going to move a counter to the next sprocket. So from 3 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 1 to 2 to 3, and any Contraptions underneath the correct sprocket are going to trigger on your upkeep. So for example, let's say you get a BB gun on the battlefield under sprocket number 1. You move your counter from 3 to sprocket 1, and you get to trigger it for free. So whenever you crank BB guns, so move the counter to the sprocket where BB gun is under, you can choose one of your creatures and give it pay 2, that creature fights another creature this turn. So basically a weird removal spell. You have Dog, Snail, Engine, lets you gain a bit of life. Hard Hat Area lets you roll some dice, maybe assemble some Contraptions, and Genetic Recombiner lets you pump some of your creatures. So this kind of facilitates a really weird and interesting and very different style of gameplay that we've never ever seen in Magic before. It's very, very, very different. So you're actually going to have 2 separate decks, and if you're building a deck around Contraptions, I expect that you're going all in on a crazy casual deck that's just looking to play a whole bunch of Contraptions and a whole bunch of cards that assemble Contraptions. Speaking of assembling Contraptions, we have a few examples of cards that actually do this. For example, Steam Flogger of the Month. When it enters the battlefield, it assembles a Contraption for each Contraption you control. So let's say you already have a Dog, Snail, Engine on the battlefield. That means you're going to get to assemble another Contraption. If you have 3 Contraptions, you get 3 more. Seems really powerful in a deck devoted to Contraptions. Finders Keepers, kind of a Necrotol type effect, able to destroy a creature, assemble a Contraption. Aerial Toastmaster lets you sack an artifact to assemble a Contraption. So there seems to be a lot of different ways across colors to actually assemble the Contraptions, and the art is super crazy. Like, look at Dog, Snail, Engine. That is some super spicy art. So it will be interesting to see how this works in every casual format. Like, are people going to be building decks around Contraptions? Are you going to have Commander Contraption decks? I have no idea, but it is super exciting to finally see what Contraptions look like. Speaking of Contraptions, we also have a couple of powerful Contraption lords, so to speak. Steam Flogger Boss is essentially a Rigger Lord, but it makes it so whenever you assemble a Contraption, you get 2 Contraptions instead. This is the one tournament legal card outside of basic lands from Unstable. So it's actually a reprint. It's in black border. You can play it in your tournament decks. Of course, you also can play it as kind of the centerpiece of your assembling Contraption deck in Unstable. And then Kindly Cognition, gonna make it so things that refer to Contraptions, for example, Steam Flogger Boss, are a little bit cheaper to play, along with your artifacts. So if you play Kindly Cognition on turn 2, turn 3, Steam Flogger Boss, you just go all out assembling Contraptions like crazy, so it should be interesting. The other mechanic that we found out about today is Watermark's matter. So watermarks are those little designs down below the text box that you can kind of see there. For example, Hammer Fist Boomtacular deals 2 damage to a creature or player whenever you cast a spell with a Goblin Explosioneers watermark, which is a watermark on Hammer Fist Boomtacular. We also got Water Market, which is a soul land tapping for 2 mana, kind of like Eldrazi Temple, but only adding mana for spells with watermarks. Stamp of Approval lets you play Watermark Tribal. You get to choose a watermark, give all creatures with that watermark +1/+1. So the interesting thing about these cards for casual play is you can obviously use them with your cards from Unstable. Each faction in Unstable, there's 5 of them in all, has their own watermark, so you can play them that way. You can also play Stamp of Approval or Watermark it with some cards that already exist in Magic. For example, all the Ravnica guilds, both from original Ravnica and Return to Ravnica, are watermarks. So you can play like Dimir Tribal with some of the Watermark Matters cards. The Phyrexian cards from New Phyrexia are watermarked Phyrexian, so you can play Blaze Blazer and Blightsteel Colossus with your watermark banner cards. All of the Dragon Lords have their own watermarks, and their followers have their watermarks as well. So that gives you a bunch of weird options for building with these Watermark Matters cards, even outside of Unstable. Beyond the mechanics, we got a few individual cards that are pretty sweet. Hangman is basically a top-down design of the game Hangman on a Magic card. When it enters the battlefield, you pretty much make up a 6 to 8 letter word, and then people have to guess the words or the letters. If they get it wrong, you bump up your Hangman. When someone finally guesses a word, you gotta lose your Hangman. So it's a 1-drop that can potentially get pretty big if your opponent's bad at guessing, especially if you choose a really difficult word. Earl of Squirrel, super sweet. Squirrels are one of the things you most associate with unsets, and Earl of Squirrel is a super sweet one. It's expensive, 6 mana, you get a 4/4, but it has Squirrel Link, which is kind of like Lifelink, but instead of gaining life, you get a 1/1 squirrel for each damage you deal, which is actually a really potentially powerful mechanic. Also turns all creature tokens into squirrels, so it's kind of a weird token lord, and pumps all of your other squirrels and all of your other tokens, because your tokens are now squirrels. So a lot of cool, fun, casual things all smashed together. Squirrels, people love them. Lifelink, people like it. Tokens, casual all-star. Lords, casual all-star. So it's just every sweet casual thing all slammed into one with some sweet squirrely art. Finally, we have our basic lands. I want to mention them really quickly. So probably the most financially relevant aspect of Unstable is the land cycle. This is where the value is. Since the cards are not tournament playable, these are the cards that are going to be worth a couple of dollars a piece. And worth pointing out, you're going to get one of these every pack, except, well, almost every pack. I said every pack earlier, and someone yelled at me because apparently Steam Flogger Boss is actually in the land slot, so I guess once every so many packs you'll get a Steam Flogger Boss instead. But the land's super sweet, borderless, with really awesome full art from John Avon, and I expect these to be pretty popular. So these are kind of the money cards in the set, as weird as that sounds. In a normal set, you're hoping to open sweet rares and mythics. In Unstable, you're going to be hoping to open maybe a sweet foil borderless land, or some of the sweet tokens that are apparently going to be in the set, even though we haven't seen them yet. So that has been our daily Unstable spoilers for today. So what do you think? Where is your hype level for this set? Are you going to build decks around this? Will your playgroup allow you to play these cards? Can you play them with your Commander playgroup? Will you build casual standard decks with these cards? I'm very curious to know how people are going to use these cards, because there's some really sweet stuff. Squirrel Lords and Squirrel Link and Contraptions, Watermark Matters, awesome basic land. So what are you thinking about Unstable? Where are you at with this set? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.